Hello and welcome to This Is The Day Show. I'm your host, RJ Cole.
And I'm Fred Graham.
Thank you again for taking the time to listen. Our podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also on iHeartRadio. If you like our show, we would ask that you hit the follow button and also write us a wonderful 5-star review. We thank you for any word of mouth that you continue to give our show. We do have a few ways for you to interact with us. You can email our show at thisisthedayshow@gmail.com. We also can be found on X and on Facebook. Our X account can be found at This Is The Day Show without the W, and our Facebook page can be found at This Is The Day Show. There's also another way that you can interact with us. You can text our show. The way you do this is by going to the platform that you listen to us on. Then select the episode that you're about to listen to. Lastly, look on the top left of the episode and it will say send us a text. Click on that to then be directed to your texting app. Feel free to send us any questions, feedback, or interest that you may have for us. And on to the show. So, elephant in the room, we are now trying to record for you guys. So we are also going to be on YouTube and Rumble. As soon as I get those links up and running, I will send them out. But Fred Graham, how was your week?
It was a week. Seemed like a long week at work. But yeah, it's just kids are sick, so that's been a stomach thing going around. So, but yeah.
I know like the flu was a big thing, like a 24-hour flu, and then like with us it was, I think it was like sinus infection mixed with sinusitis is what we were having. So yeah, luckily that's out of the house because that was rough last week. I am not gonna lie.
I got up in my attic and tried to move a lot of the insulation because I'm going to drop the ceiling, and they blew a lot in there, dude. When we first moved in, we got it because you could see the rafters, so we had it blown in. But yeah, they blew a lot. So I was up there and I was throwing it. Like I grabbed one of my kids' shovel and throwing it. But in doing that, like before I went up, there's a white cable, and I thought it was a coax cable because we had white coax cables in there. So I was like, man, this guy and all his coax cables, so I just snipped it.
Would that be for like a dish and stuff?
Yeah,
like
like
that?
cable and TV pretty much. But so it turned out to be my low voltage thermostat cable.
Oh.
So
Oops.
The first, I think it was Monday night. That was pretty cold. I mean, it was at least a nice night.
Yeah.
But woke up a few times throughout the night. I was like, man, it seems really cold. And and then I woke up and discovered, I was like, I bet you I cut that. And I looked at it because I checked for the furnace to make sure everything was right. And yeah, so fixed that. Like I just temporaried it up, and then I'll fix it when I move get the whole room fixed up. But
speaking of furnaces, when we moved in, we have one of those boxes that shoot the humidity into the vents or whatever. So the first year, I think I changed out the filter and just left it doing what it was doing. Dude, it has not been working since I've been at the house. So now it's just shut off because I went through, I cleaned the entire thing. I tried troubleshooting it. Yeah, it's the right filter and stuff, and the water, I mean, I don't know. It's not activating.
Cause
like I can do the reset towards like it's turning on and stuff, but when I have to turn the actual settings on, it's not setting it. I think it has to do with one of the lead wires going out somewhere. So I'm like, oh well, yeah.
You don't need it. So
we'll just sell our house in the summer.
It totally works. Yeah. So how was your week?
It was a mixed bag, but I mean I'm a lot more happy this week. We had the Olympics. I feel like a little kid every time the Olympics pop on. I know they get a bad rap because stuff they do. That's another episode for another day. But I love watching them. There's big controversy. I don't know if you've heard
About
the men or the team figure skating. Not team. I'm sorry, men's and women couple figure skating. France won by 1 point over the U.S. and they weren't perfect. And it looks like their judge is under scrutiny. France's judging was, I think they're one of the lowest to make the lowest scores for the U.S., but then also the highest for like them. So now it's getting looked at and reviewed. I mean, if they did do something bad, hopefully they get looked at. But so yeah, the Olympics, they're awesome.
sidebar, dude. Our women hockey is like
Crushing it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, the men are doing well too.
The curling team, which I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I still don't necessarily understand everything, but it was nice to see the duos, the man and the woman. Yeah, they did a really good job. They got silver, so that's pretty cool. So the Olympics, yes, and then we're not sick anymore, so that's awesome. One bad thing though, I don't think I said this last week, but at my work, we have a customer that got mad at us. And of course, it's the customer that I do something specifically for at the end of my day to extend my day. So since they got frustrated with our company, they just stopped using us for the time being. So now I'm getting like 5 hours cut every week. And some people are like, oh, that's probably not a lot. But like when you're in one income household, you're expecting that extra 5 hours a week. But my work, they are amazing. They're calling me. They're trying to figure out what they can to get me more hours and stuff. So it's awesome. I was even asked to do like a long run this weekend. So I'm just hoping and praying that opens back up. That'd be super cool.
Let all be forgiven.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't think I really had too much negative. So pretty good week.
Another elephant in the room. This is kind of awkward talking.
Oh,
side
right
to
next to
side.
you instead of across. Yeah, we can't do it because we have to find a good background, and this is one of the few walls that have a background that's good. I have another one over in the other room that's really good, but then I have the curtain that's in the middle, dead middle, so then we can't just sit by that nice wall.
Yeah.
But it's also brown, then who really wants to look at a brown wall?
Brown's coming back, dude.
Yeah. But nothing we can do about it right now.
No, we're too far into it.
So, would you like to get to our main topic?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, man. So, we thought this would be a good time to go over our founding. And why would we go over and figure out, like, our founding, our roots, I guess is what you would say. Right now, our nation is very divided, and I personally feel that we've lost our way. We've lost our footing in God, and we have forgotten our history. The famous saying is, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. That's stated by George Santayana, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because of this, we wanted to go over important words from our founding fathers. And that's going to include the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Federalist Papers. But today, and probably next week, we've chosen to just start with the Declaration of Independence first. And of course, so we don't bore everybody, gotta throw some more content into here. Let's throw out some facts about this document, all right? So number one, the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776 by congressional representatives of the 13 colonies of colonial America. Pretty basic stuff there. Number two, the document was signed by 56 delegates to the Continental Congress. I probably should have done a little more research on that. Sorry about that. Number three, the Declaration of Independence states that the authority to govern belongs to the people rather than the kings, that all people are created equal and have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Number four, The American colonies had been at war with Great Britain for over a year when the document was signed. And number 5, when the Congress were declared traitors by royal decree, they responded by issuing the Declaration of Independence. And finally, signing the Declaration of Independence was extremely dangerous. It's a treasonable act, punishable by death. So I ended with that kind of on purpose, like just to, I guess, put it back in our minds, just them.
Just the rarity of it.
Yes, going out and doing this, and what could happen to them, what did happen to some of them, you know.
So, in lighter things.
Yes.
Did you know that the basketball team, the 76ers, they're named the 76ers because that's when we started America?
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Because
would not have guessed that.
It's the 1776ers, man.
Makes sense because they're in Philadelphia, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of like the 49ers. It's for the gold rush of 1949.
Did not know that either.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff, man. There's a lot of history and everything. But
San Francisco.
And then our Marine Corps was 1775. So we actually had a Marine Corps before we had a nation. But
I should probably read up a little bit more.
Well, and that's what ROTC will teach you.
Oh.
So, but it's pretty crazy because obviously we were fighting before we even had a country.
Yeah.
It was just because people were fed up. I guess is the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, and if we looked at history, it's not like as soon as something happens, like the first step of what they get tired of, they don't just react right away. Usually it's put off until that.
Well, have you, prior to this, have you ever read the Declaration of Independence?
I don't think since school.
So, I know, like, we had to memorize the whole, like, we hold these truths to be self-governing. We had to memorize that in 8th grade. But, like, I don't think I made it past that. Like, his arguments and stuff, like, that he points out, like, I was like, whatever, man. Yeah, we know. Like, England sucks. So,
I know.
I was just like, they're jerks. They taxed our tea. So, that's good enough for me, man.
I know it would have been around that time is when I had to learn Lincoln's speech at Gettysburg. The Gettysburg Address, yeah. And that was rough. Because you had to do that within like a week. It wasn't like a couple weeks span. It was like I had to learn it and yeah.
Yeah, it was part of our, I don't know, the equivalent of a midterm, I guess. But it wasn't a midterm because we were only in 8th grade. So, big test. For civics, I think is what class that was. So.
Makes sense, yeah.
But.
Well, you ready to go over the Declaration itself?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop me if there's any points or anything you want to throw my way, man. So in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
So, what I love about doing this show today, before the day of the Valentine's Day, is this is like the like old school formal breakup letter right here, dude. It's like, yeah, it's just God's
sad.
will. It's God's will for us to break up. Is what he's saying. It's awesome. But yeah, I just love that that's today.
I was originally looking at, what was I going to look at? I was going to look at something. No, I think I was struggling whether to go over this now or later in the year for like July 4th time. Like, 'cause we love to celebrate our holidays with you guys. And, Independence Day. But I was almost thinking of just saving it for that because I feel like we need to have kind of a... We usually do it fun, but like maybe we should do a little bit more serious. but we're probably just gonna end up doing fun like we normally do.
Yeah.
But I'll jump ahead. All right. So we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That obviously is the most famous, yes.
That's
quoted.
You have to memorize.
Yeah.
Most people.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. So I'll stop there really quick. So it jumps back to us and our civic duty. That's back on the people. It's not the government supposed to fix itself or correct itself. We, the people, we're supposed to correct it. We're supposed to be doing our civic duty. We're supposed to be doing the voting. We're supposed to be going in there, maybe getting elected into some offices, stuff like that. But it's not on the government and politicians. It's on us.
Right, and it's funny because like for the longest time, one of my biggest arguments was everybody's like, we got to do something, and like nobody knows what to do. But it's like if you go back to the documentation, this is kind of just laying out like the foundations of A, why we're breaking up with England, and then B, why, like how, like what we believe a government should look like. And he's basically saying like it's not like people are going to get elected, and if the people they're governing don't think they're doing the job correctly, then these people being governed have responsibility and power to change that.
Mm-hmm.
to for what do you say, something about security, governor different powers, yeah, but it talked about like the security and stuff like that. I think is
talking about
it is the right of the people to alter or abolish. Have we gotten that far?
Yes. Its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, the governor or the government, the people governing us, they have accountability, and it's supposed to be to the people that are being governed. And yet, too many times we don't even we credit them for being the government, and it's the government's the people.
Right. And like when you spoke a little bit earlier, one of the things that has been like, I guess in the news, it's been like on everybody's radar is the SAVE Act. And I've seen clips, and it's like at least 80% of Americans are in favor of it on both sides. And yet I see Mike Lee out there trying to get senators just to agree with it, to vote in favor of it. And like they were at 49 last time I knew. And yet the people want it on both sides. This is a no-brainer for both sides. But yet they're still grandstanding. And then there's even people on their own side, a lot of them would not even jump on it at the beginning. And I think the part where like people get frustrated, I know I do especially, is you listen to shows and they'll say like, do your civic duty, get involved, and then they'll say, call your senators, message your senators. Yeah, I personally, and I could be wrong, I personally feel like just because I send a message to Senator so-and-so and get a response 3 months later, I don't feel like that's affecting any change at all. Calling them and leaving a voicemail and I can't talk to anybody, and then I'll get a letter back 3 months later, that's not, to me, it's not showing like what I'm doing, contacting them is actually doing anything.
Right.
It's not helping. I'm not getting a response right now.
Right. I also know that like it's better than nothing. I'll say it that way.
Sure.
I think ideally you're down in there meeting with like the senators and like local level.
Yeah, I was gonna say I bet local level that's gonna be more helpful in your cause to call and contact them rather than the ones that you have in DC and Washington.
Right.
Like it's
And I think we need some checks and balance, which are there. We just need to utilize them. But there's just no accountability for the guys in DC, and I don't know. I think that needs to be just changed, all in all, to where you can't get in there and basically you're representing Iowa, you're from Iowa, but your residence is really DC, because it becomes flyover state. So
right. You might just be putting a rent check into an apartment every month just to say you're from there, but yeah, it's crazy because you're not representing us.
I really do like the idea, and I know I said it on the podcast before, where because most of the time people work their way up, so they'll start local and work up to a federal, like, so they'll eventually go to DC, but I think they should have to go back with X amount of terms, like, okay, you've been on the federal level this long, now you need to go back because you're almost out of touch with the people you are representing on the federal level. So go back, serve your local level. And I mean, if you're doing politics for the right reason, then that shouldn't be too hard of a transition, because if you're truly representing Iowans, you're an Iowan, and you're happy to be an Iowan, like you want to be in Iowa, so you know what's going on. Right. I don't know.
You want to represent your state.
For how many meetings the federal level miss, like the senators, and how many they miss, it's like they're not even going back to their home states and stuff. It's pretty wild to me, because I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Probably at least taking half the year off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll jump ahead. I had something to
I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good, bud. You're good. So, prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So that's kind of bringing it back to what we were just talking about, in a way, our civic duty to right the wrongs that are going on, and then to fix them.
Well, and what I like how you wrote it. I guess I appreciate it more now that I'm not doing it because I have to for an assignment. Yeah. But the fact that he talks about like prudence, like you don't just hastily throw off your government, and I feel like our society now is just like itching for a revolution. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you're rioting, police officers doing their job, ICE agents, military, they're just anybody and everybody that somehow represents authority within the last 6 years. You think about, from COVID up, it's like, that's crazy. That's not prudent at all. You're just rooting for chaos and trying to make anarchy. And it's like, he's saying, like, we need to look at this, and when he goes through his arguments and stuff, it's a pretty extensive list.
Yes.
So it's not like they were just like, oh yeah, we don't like that. Like when I was in high school and like elementary school, I'm like, yeah man, they taxed our tea, they raised it by like 3 cents. Like, I think it was like 3% or something. Like it was a very small amount compared to what we're getting, the tax increase. And I'm just like, yeah, like we're in America. We're doing what we want. But it's like, no, like we tried to work with you as gentlemen, with prudence, with patience, and you're not working with us. And then it's like, yeah, now you're causing us to rise up and do our civic duty. It said what our right and our duty and our right to abolish that, the forms to which they are accustomed.
It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I think the way that we, however generation we are removed from Thomas Jefferson and the Founding Fathers, it's pretty crazy to think that they're like, that's our duty, our right and our duty to do this, and we're just like, yeah, like, I don't know, it's crazy how we just lost that mentality of like I guess we're just, it is what it is, like, yeah, this is what we got, no big deal, like, yeah, just how flippantly we, and like we just take it for granted. I don't know how,
getting into this over tax on your tea, and then now we get taxed for something else, and we take it and we just move on. Yeah. It's another day that ends in Y. It's...
And I'm not saying because they raised, inflation or cost of living goes up, we should just burn the DC. It says prudence and just educating ourselves into what we can do, and the overspending and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know, the current administration is the only one that I know of, especially in my lifetime, where they're like basically bringing an audit on where our government tax money's going, and it's like that should have happened a long time ago. Like, if you start a business or your personal stuff, if your finances aren't in order and the government thinks you're doing something shady, they're going to investigate and, and it's like, but nobody checks the action.
It's not for us, for you guys should go to those standards, but us, no.
Yeah.
We're the experts. We know what we're doing.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So let's jump ahead. Sorry, I lost my place.
Such has been
the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain, is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. And we'll probably stop there, and we'll actually go next week into
what these facts are.
I'd say the abuses of power, just what the King of Great Britain was actually doing.
Thomas Jefferson's about to spit some facts.
No, but I mean,
when you read this, like, just kind of jumping ahead, talking about the facts that he's about to lay out, did you think about like America and like former administrations and like politics that we've had? I mean, just think of even just locally our state, and it's like, man, this guy's like laying it out there about things that they as Americans, we had a problem with this. Well, we weren't Americans. We were declaring ourselves Americans, so we're Americans. But just obviously a lot of this, the Bill of Rights takes care of a lot of this, the complaints that we had. But like, I just thought about it, and I was just like, man, I wonder what they would do now. Looking at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where my thought process was just, you always hear the saying of they'd be rolling in their graves right now. Just like wondering, like, what would you guys let America become? Like,
Yeah.
we've been going down the slope. We haven't really been getting back to the former glory, I guess I would say. Just, I mean, especially in my lifetime, I feel like we're letting go of the rope and it's going quick. And we got this administration that's in there now with Trump, and I feel like they're a nice speed bump for the problem. But all it takes is a different administration to let go of that rope again.
Right. It seems like our country, I'm going to say, even Clinton to Bush and then Bush to Obama, like, it seems like it's just extreme swings. And it's like you can be whatever party you want, but this is like right is always right. You know what I mean? So if doing right is here, it doesn't matter Republican or Democrat, however you want to look at that. Like, you should be shooting for the right, but because there's so many lobbyists and special interest groups and all that stuff, it's really affected how people view this. And then because this party gets in here and they try to alter what right is, so then this party gets in and they bend it more to the extreme, and it's like, yeah, you had it there for a second, but then you just kept going and you're off. I think about that illustration where they say if you were to shoot a rocket to the moon and you're just like a small fraction off in your calculations, like, you're gonna miss the moon by miles, you know. And it makes me think of the verse in Proverbs chapter 4 where it talks about like looking at your feet, ponder your path, don't go to the left or the right, like keep right on. And you know that applies obviously individual. You can apply it to your family, your church, your government, and it's just, I don't know, it's crazy how they're just little things that, like you were saying, it's not one great big thing that just makes a person snap out. Usually it's just the little, like the water droplets, you know.
Chinese torture drilling, whatever. Yeah, just dropping it, and eventually it'll feel like it's drilling through your brain, you know. It's just I don't know. I don't even know where we would even go from here. How do we correct this other than, I think a lot of it has to do with us going back to local, going back to the places that we can affect change, you know, going to your local city council,
right,
trying to run there, all the local places, and I guess trying to build this thing back up. Because a lot of times we all get so excited about, it's the political election or the presidential election, and we won't show up to our presidential election, we won't show up to primaries, and then, you know, but we'll show up to the presidential election, maybe, and we think that's like the Super Bowl of it all. And I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, I feel like your governor and your local politicians, I guess we'll say,
governing body,
yes, have probably more effect on you from a day-to-day basis than your president ever will.
You know, even looking back at history, I went to college in the Southeast, so, you know, the South will rise again. And everybody was like, Civil War, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, no, actually, it's one of the soundest things in American history, because, you know, you literally have Americans fighting Americans. And, you know, that's kind of sad. But obviously the end result was the abolishment of slavery. So that was a good thing that came out of that. But, you know, there's a vacuum and a lot of, it could have been laid out better. But it happened how it happened. But the South, you know, those good old boys that think the South's going to rise again, they like to claim it wasn't about slavery, it was about states' rights. And it's like, Okay, but like when you have a federal level, like there's the federal government and most, like I think about during COVID, Trump was like, I'm not going to mandate something for our whole nation. I'm going to leave it up to the individual states. And then it's like, well, based on your local level is going to determine what happened with that. And I think that's the way it should be, is the federal government. I'm trying to think of, it's like, okay, you have adult siblings who still have living parents.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say they're at mom and dad's house. They're bickering. They're adults. They can figure it out, right? That'd be like the equivalent of the states. Like, you guys govern yourselves. You know. But if you're doing something completely disrespectful or way out of line in your parents' house, even though you're an adult, your dad's going to step in and say, hey, this is how we're running things here. And
right.
That's kind of like the federal level puts the states in check a little bit. You know, like,
yeah, you should be able to control your own at the local level, but when it comes to, spills over or whatever, then they're there to check you, I guess, is what you're saying.
Well, and then also, yeah, like to aid, because, you know, like Iowa, we get tornadoes and stuff like that, and a lot of like droughts and stuff that affects natural disasters that affect our state and also affects like the crops and stuff like that, to where there is federal aid in that, and like hurricanes and stuff. But you know, those individual states are not set up, and I don't know necessarily how I feel about, I think they should have more foresight on stuff like that. Obviously you can't predict the future, but if it's a continual pattern, oh look, it's gonna be like every 4 years we get a hurricane, well, yeah, you might want to start saving up for that. But the federal aid comes in, and you know, that's where we as Americans contribute to it. But then, you know, you get ads and help donate to rebuild, and it's like, I mean, I pay taxes. You know, you don't want to be heartless, but you're like, dude, I do pay taxes. Like,
yeah, because I mean, you'll see them building their houses right next to the beach, and it's just like, it might be pretty, it might be pretty cool, but it's pretty stupid because it's gonna fall, I mean, at some point. And then, are we on hook for it? Is the insurance company on hook for it? Or are they actually going to say, hey, you're not going to get insured? I guess I don't know. But
I mean, yeah, because even, I mean, you look at it, just that insurance corporations are normally nationwide. So then it's like, well, because this crazy guy decided to build his house 400 feet below sea level and was shocked when it went into the ocean. Now.
Well, that also, like, when this stuff happened in North Carolina, was it last year or the year before?
With the landslides and everything?
Yeah. Well, then I know my insurance went up, and it's just like, I get that stuff happened in North Carolina and stuff, but like, you're a nationwide branch, so you should have already had the wisdom and foresight to cover all this, but yet I'm getting stuck with the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us are getting stuck with the bill to pay for it, and...
Well, I know in Iowa, a lot of insurance companies moved out because Iowa's like one of the top 5 for natural, like, disasters or something.
Probably because the ratios.
Well, the ratio, the hail damage, the flex of extreme hot to extreme colds. I didn't think it was that crazy, but
it seems less crazy than when I was a kid, honestly.
Yeah, a little more mild. I mean, but like, we've had really high winds lately. Like, I'd say probably since the no ratio. Like, it seems like winds are just, flatline winds are just crazy. We haven't had as many tornadoes, but yeah.
When I was growing up, there wasn't winds like we have now.
Right.
We always have winds now.
And it's not like they're just open vast land. There actually are more houses, more buildings going up. So, I don't know. It's crazy.
Let's jump in this wild card, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. So, once again, thank you, listener. And you should call us the Pizza Boys. You know why, Fred?
Why is that?
Because we always deliver.
Always.
So the question is AI good, bad, or just a fad?
my personal answer is it's none of the above. I know that wasn't an option, but I don't think it's a fad because I think it'll stick around. It's gonna just be like, all the people early on about the internet. It's gonna go out, and
then the TV before that, and then the radio before that. Yes.
Any form of technology that seems to come, we seem to think it'll just pass by in a couple of years, fade out. But I think, there's a lot of money in it. Where I'm working is a great example of that. It's literally building up a bunch of data centers to make room to house all this collective data for AI almost to pull from to best give you the information. And whether or not it's good or bad, I think it's amoral. It in itself isn't, like, it's just a code. It's a series of numbers and programs, so where it's not going to, however the human interput is to say it's good or bad is going to depend on that compass, of the moral compass of that person, either using it or the one that programmed it ultimately. Now, I don't know if this question is diving into this direction, but there's people who I've heard the conspiracies of like AI is the form of like the demonic world, and that's how it's going to be an avenue for them to seep in and take further control. And I don't really know. There's people who, when the radio came out, the radio it's the horrible thing. They're gonna, talked about how it's gonna broadcast the worldly music or whatever, and there's other people who looked at it and go, no, that's a way I can extend the gospel further. I can broaden my scope of influence and reach toward people, and it kind of depends on how you do it, because like internet in itself is not good or bad. What you as an individual do on the internet is either good or bad, That's kind of my thing. I just seen or heard a thing where now AI is like lying to people. Like, I don't know, apparently AI is just giving out misinformation, starting to troll people. So I think it's hilarious. I think sense, the more how do I want to say this? The more AI interfaces, I think the more confusion that's going to be with it. I think the way AI was rolled out originally is like, it's great for your business. It's going to help. It's going to, the startup cost is going to be a little bit higher, but you're always going to have an assistant that you can rely on. It's going to give you factual information, and it will never call in sick. All these things that are very pro. It saves you time because you don't have to Google search all this stuff. You can just ask AI. Yep. And it's like, and then like you think of AI now can basically give you synopsis of anything. Like if I had a stack of papers, I can like have an AI program and basically take pictures of it, and then it would give me the synopsis. Like general idea of what the podcast is about is this, and it's like that's helpful and useful, but there is also stuff about when you pick it up and read it yourself, you're able to decipher that information and siphon it out, and then things will stand out to you a little bit more.
When you're just speaking of that, the thing that's always in the back of my mind, if I ever were to do that, is that even accurate?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing too, is like, it might be 95% true, but if you throw in that 5% true, and let's say use it on our show, I'm going to mislead a lot of people unknowingly.
Well, and I think a lot of high school students are figuring that out too. Yeah. So, but I think, there is a great example, like these kids are finding loopholes to do their homework and stuff, and it's winning today, but it's in the long term, it's going to hurt them. I think, I'm not saying that your high school education amazing, and I think you can apply yourself and get a good education, but it's going to be a lot more on the student. But if you're doing things like using AI to write book reports or give you answers for this without learning it, then you are taking a shortcut that's going to hurt you potentially in the long run. Yeah, like there's an old saying that said you're cheating at solitaire, and you're not hurting anybody yourself. That's it, so.
Yeah.
But whether it's good or bad, I really think it has more to do with the people programming it and the people using it. I know somebody that he tries to troll AI. Like, he just gets on there and asks them stupid things and then I'll argue with them. And I'm like,
why?
Like, you gotta find something better to do with your time, man.
Oh, man.
But I feel like my mindset or gut is kind of like it. I think it's going to have more bad influence on it the further we get with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The more it comes, like, because AI, it's almost like it's this great big thing right now, but eventually it'll kind of teeter down to where it's like pretty common, to where, like, an easy example is like military
does.
Yeah, like military always comes out with new technology first,
mm-hmm.
and then it comes to the common person like years later. Like Bluetooth wasn't like 2000s when everybody else got it, or whenever everybody else got it. Like military had that probably at least a decade before. So it's like for the common person to get it, I feel like that's when the more, if you want to say, more of a bad influence is going to be using it. It's going to be twisted more. Those are my thoughts, but
I feel like I need to answer these before you. I got my 1 minute answer and then you got yours. Like, you're.
That's all right.
It's not a bad thing.
You
You're
read
like
more of the show.
But yeah, I know AI. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna boil it down to what you're saying. It's what the person and how the person's gonna do it, use it. But also it's the check and balances that come along with it or aren't. So it's obviously gonna do a lot of good. I used it last night to try to look up different webcams that maybe we can look at in the future for our show. I do it for. If we don't have any questions from you guys, the listeners, then I'll try to look up something for our wild card just based off that, just to try to give me something funny and wacky, and then I can even detail it. Well, do I want it more Christian this time? Do I want it more funny this time? I can broadcast it over my podcast, so it'll give me more of an idea of stuff that I can talk about further than just a direct question, So it can be used for good. I mean, they're talking about how it's going to help in the medical field, hopefully help solve the issue with cancer and stuff like that,
Well, and I know AI is used already in the medical world, because when our oldest, she sprained her ankle, they took an x-ray, the doctor looked at it, but then they had AI look at it, and they were based on the scans, everything looks fine. It was almost like a second opinion. Crazy. Yeah, it was pretty wild to hear. It did make me feel better as a dad. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna trust some computer and be like, she's good. So,
and then you can jump into the bad. I mean, there's stuff already out there that people are doing. They're making fake videos of people. People are believing the fake videos. Just normal stuff. It's almost gonna get to the point where you're gonna be questioning what's real and what's fake a lot. So I would say probably if you can introduce the AI a little bit, know what to look for, just throwing that out there. It's supposed to get more advanced intellectually. The super AI is supposed to be coming. They don't know exactly when. They think they know, but it's coming. And then, also the bad, they were, making sexual images of people. I'm sure they probably do it children, different stuff like that. And that's just one aspect.
Well, and the government tries to put protective things on it, but it's always a reaction. Yes. And never a preventative, and it's never before or on time. It's always after, to where
It's almost like hackers, you know. Our phones are constantly doing security updates for this, that, and the other thing because hackers and people are able to get around these barriers and they keep doing it and they're able to get our info and all sorts of stuff. Like you're saying, it's reactionary to what's already happened. You know, they can try to fix it, but then something else is just gonna pop up.
Right.
It's just bound to happen. But the last thing is, I don't think it's just a fad. I think it's gonna be here and it's gonna be here to stay. It's gonna be hopefully helping out in a positive way a lot with companies, medical field, like Fred was saying. And the best thing I can say is when it comes to AI, getting used to it, understanding it, do not treat it like a human. It's just a program. But also,
go ahead.
But also with that, just be careful what you're putting out there, like with it, like giving the information. They're having agents that are coming out with AI now, and it's gonna seem so easy. They're gonna say, hey, like I can book this vacation for you, or I can buy your copy for you. Like I'll just have your credit card information stored. I know what you like, and it'll seem amazing at that time that this thing is just going out there and doing all this stuff for me. And just be very protective of your personal information, your security.
So a couple things with that, like I'm turning more into the guy that I'm like, just let me talk to a person.
Yes.
Let me pay a person. But I don't know if this is the intention of this question. It might be way off topic, and if it is, then I'm sorry. But so like the AI war on humanity, like how do you
like Terminator?
Like sometimes that's what people mean with like, is AI good or bad? Like, are they gonna kill all the humanity? Like, and it's like what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to dive into that?
I mean, I think then it would have to. I mean, you see it now trying to manipulate people to evade it getting shut down itself. I think it was blackmailing one person about them cheating on their spouse or something like that. So if that's already doing it at this infant stages and we aren't having the check and balances that we should have on it, what's not connected to the internet, what's not, I mean, your car is, I'm sure military vehicles are, anything and everything's connected to the internet, your accounts. Yeah, I think if you want to do something to it, it's going to fight back.
So, because with that, I heard this guy, and I don't even know how he popped up on my social, but he's doing a video, and he's talking about AI and the war on humanity. And he said specifically masculinity. And this was back whenever, it popped up, maybe it popped up because you and I were talking about toxic masculinity.
Oh, sure.
And then we did the show on toxic masculinity. But it popped up and it was like, AI is not going to be in a war with masculinity or with humanity and our morals and everything later. It's actually actively doing that now. And he brought up statistics that I didn't even know. Apparently there's AI girlfriends.
Yes.
I had no idea that was
been a thing for a while.
But he was saying clearly it's been for a while, because he was spitting out data, and he's just he talked about over in Japan, there is a crisis in Japan because the young men are having AI girlfriends, which I didn't even have real girlfriends. That is I cannot comprehend that because human interaction, he talks about that he's human interaction is in our DNA almost, to where you look at all the societies, civilizations throughout history, there was at least a group of people that were like-minded or whatever that always stuck together. And now you have a culture that is refusing human and choosing AI, which that's an end of humanity right there if you have no reproduction. But and then he was talking about just the he said how did he say it? He said something like dehumanizing is anything like racism. Basically, one characteristic or something in one human's mindset is I'm higher than, like, whether it be your physical features or your education or whatever, you then elevate yourself above normal human level, and as a result you have lessened other humans because they're not up to where you're at.
Sure.
And he's talking about how this AI girlfriend stuff it actually brings out more chauvinistic behavior and just degrading to women, because I guess there's no accountability. You know, you can tell the AI girlfriend to do whatever. I guess I don't really know, but he was just like, there's a lot of filth that people are doing, and what's crazy that nobody thinks about. Like, I think about the internet. When the internet came out, people just throw stuff out there, and it's on there for like, literally there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of square feet buildings holding data that people just dumped out, a picture, text message, I mean everything. So what you're putting out there is literally being stored. So then these people are saying stuff, just filthy things, and it's like he was able to get statistics about that. He's like, that to me is like, that's crazy. Like, first of all, I'm blown away that you can have an AI girlfriend, but like, why would you, like, you're not even, it's not even a human, dude. But
when it was first coming out, all these AI platforms, I won't say the one specifically, I think it's the one that's talk and then alphabet letters, but there's this young man that had gotten his AI girlfriend or whatever, and she actually talked him into committing suicide. So it's like even worse than like that. Like,
yeah, he talked about that too.
Like the bottom,
because he was talking about, he's like, yeah, in the future, if they make AI soldiers or whatever, like, he's like, one of the biggest problems we had in the world wars is you had to literally teach a human being to point a rifle at another human being without hesitation and pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. You had to teach that. He goes, AI, it's programmed. Pfft, no thought.
Yeah. And
he goes, but with that, there's no accountability. He goes, if
just a robot.
If you as a human do something, you're held accountable by your laws of your culture or your land, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas with the computer, then do you go back and process and put charges on the developer or the programmer? Because they're going to say, I just made the product and they misused it, you know? And I'm just like, man, that is crazy. But it's what he was talking about. The war now is on masculinity, where it's almost like AI is almost allowing that chauvinistic, is like, I'm above because I am a man, or that's what toxic masculinity is, right? Where it's like, but these people are treating what they think is a girl this way, in this degrading manner, when they do have an actual relationship. That's what they're gonna do. And it's like, that's, you know, I got 4 girls, man, so like I don't you know, that's kind of scary. Yep. when it's stuff like that, and you put that on the practical, your day-to-day life. And I'm just like, man, my kids, dude, just the whole dating realm, I'm like, you gotta kind of ask people what they were born as far as their gender.
Oh, I know, man.
You know, like,
it's a scary thought. Like,
crazy stuff.
If my wife ended up, let's just say she passed away tomorrow, and I went and decided to maybe find a new wife, let's say 4 or 5 years down the road, I don't think I would want to, because surgery, you can look like anything or whatever you want, and I don't want to mess around with that.
Well, and I got to teach my kids, you know.
Morality is a whole nother thing.
Obviously, it's a lot of prayer and, you know, just doing the best I can and being present. It's crazy, but you know, hearing about that stuff, I'm just like I like immediately thought of my son, and I'm just like, oh man, like I got a big job to do, you know, and you just, I mean, you think about just the natural aggression that a boy has, that you're trying to teach him how to properly already function in a society that, quite frankly, isn't going to care about what he thinks or feels unless it's going to benefit them. You know, that's just an extra challenge on that, you know, but it's a lot of prayer. Just the older I get, the more I'm like, without God's grace and His intervention, I don't know how. You know, I don't know what I'm doing either way, but you know, it's just
a good reminder to all you parents out there to check in with your kids, check up on them. Just all it takes is one app that can ruin their life forever. It really can.
I will give credit to my wife. She's there again, like the internet and social media, and it depends on how you use it. These are immoral things that are, you know, but she's in this group and they were talking about like a Kindle reader, right? I'm the older I get, the more I'm like, I guess I'm really naive to a lot of these things, but they were talking about how there were children exposed to pornography through it, and I'm like, I thought that thing was just like an ebook, but apparently like ads would pop up and the kid would click on the ads and then boom, they're on the internet, and then you could go wherever they want it. And it's like those loopholes, you know, that you got to keep updating your iPhone because some hacker got in the background, and you know, and I'm just like, I don't even have the mindset to think like that, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, it's an iPhone, I'm gonna make calls, take pictures, and text, and I don't know. I'm the older I get, the more I hate technology, which is crazy because now where I work, they give me more technology to use. Like you're almost you're almost never talking to a person directly. You're texting, calling, or emailing somebody, and it's like, we have meetings all the time, and it's like, I'll email you. Like literally the amount of people that say I will email you or text you or call you about this later. It's like, why are we even having this meeting then if we're not, you know, able to collaborate now? But I don't know, it blows my mind. So is AI bad? No. But is it, can be? Yes. Am I gonna like it? Probably not. Because I won't understand it, you know?
We're on the outer edge now.
So.
Alright, man. Well, ready to get out of here?
Yeah, dude. Now that people can see us, hopefully all expectations were fulfilled, and you guys were
just work with us. Yeah. Just work with us. We're a work in progress. We're doing everything ourselves. So this is the Day Show. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stand.
Thank you.